Welcome to the KZGN News. Today we'll bring you news about sanctuary cities, a report from the California Highway Patrol, Planning Commission news, gas prices, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
Thanks for joining us for the news. I'm Tom Wicknick. Here's news affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. In news about sanctuary cities, the idea of the sanctuary city dates back to the 1980s. Los Angeles was the first one to adopt such a policy when a 1979 internal policy instructed officers to avoid asking arrestees about their immigration status. The order says undocumented alien status itself is not a matter for police action. By 1989, San Francisco became a sanctuary city. The whole issue is who is responsible for enforcing immigration laws. Advocates for sanctuary cities argue that it not only stretches the budgets even thinner, but it can undermine community relations. Actual numbers of sanctuary cities are varying by state and the country. What we could find out is that California currently has some 33 sanctuary cities or counties. Here is a list of sanctuary cities in California: Bell Gardens, City of Industry, City of Commerce, Coachella, Cypress, Davis, Downey, Fresno, Greenfield, Lakewood, Los Angeles, of course, Long Beach, Linwood, Maywood, Montebello, National City, Norwalk, Oakland, Paramount, Pico Rivera, Richmond, Southgate, San Bernardino, San Diego, Santa Clara County, Santa Cruz, San Francisco, San Jose, Santa Maria, Sonoma County, Vernon, Watsonville, and Wilmington. However, there are a couple California cities that don't admit to being on the sanctuary cities list. Across the country, there are a total of 123 in an estimated 30 states. In analyzing the list of California cities, we notice none are in Kern, Inyo, or Mono counties. It is also noticed that Lancaster and Palmdale are not on the list either. So that's the cities in California that are sanctuary cities. In news from the CHP, we have two stories. The first is a report of a two-car accident near Mojave. Yesterday at approximately 2 p.m., party number 1 was driving vehicle number 1 with two other occupants southbound on State Route 14 south of State Route 58. Party 2 was driving vehicle 2 northbound on State Route 14 south of State Route 58 with 3 other occupants. For an unknown reason, Party 1 allowed Vehicle 1 to cross into the northbound lanes of traffic directly into the path of Vehicle 2. Vehicle 1 collided with Vehicle 2, and Vehicle 2 continued in the northeasterly direction, coming to rest in the eastern portion of the open desert. Vehicle 1 continued forward and came to rest, blocking the number 1 and 2 lanes of South 14. The driver and passengers of V1 sustained minor to moderate injuries, and the driver and passengers of Vehicle 2 sustained minor to major injuries. Driver 1 was evaluated for driving under the influence and was subsequently arrested for Vehicle Code 23153 and Code 273. The occupants of the first vehicle were 32-year-old Rebecca Holman and her 2 children, 6 and 7, from California City. They were driving a 1998 Dodge. The occupants of Vehicle 2 were Alejandro and Adela Perez, both 40 years old, and the driver was 19-year-old Irving Perez of Bishop. They were driving a 2003 GMC. All the injured were transported to Antelope Valley Hospital. Injuries range from minor to major. This collision remains under investigation. Now, in another story from the CHP, they have released the following press release. The CHP was going to conduct a saturation enforcement patrol throughout Rosamond and the Mojave area. On July 17th, the California Highway Patrol will be saturating the area in an effort to reduce traffic incidents and violations in high-volume areas. Through public awareness and focused enforcement efforts, the CHP hopes to increase the safety of the motoring public. The saturation enforcement aims to reduce the number of traffic collisions and vehicle code violations occurring in this area through a heightened visible presence. The mission of the California Highway Patrol is to provide the highest level of safety, service, and security to the people of California. In city news, yesterday a subcommittee for the Ridgecrest Planning Commission met at City Hall at 5 o'clock. The committee was formed as a result of a recent Planning Commission meeting where it was brought up about allowing chickens in residential zones of the city. It seems that the current municipal code is lacking clarity whether chickens are allowed or not. So the Planning Commission started discussion of the item. After some lengthy discussion, it was determined what had been presented by the staff for the Planning Commission consideration was not ready for a decision. Members of the public commented both for and against the prospect of having chickens in city limits. The Planning Commission decided to establish a subcommittee to try and refine the proposed change to the municipal code to allow chickens. So at last evening's meeting, the discussion was lengthy. The meeting was dominated by people wanting to change to allow chickens. A couple people from the public were very vocal against the idea. The major players in pushing the change appear to be Councilman Jim Sanders and the chairman of the Planning Commission, Matthew Baldwin. Over the objections of the public, they forged forward to fine-tune the proposed ordinance. It has to be mentioned that the actual process is as follows. Once they have a document to put for consideration, the full Planning Commission will hear the item. After receiving public comment, they will decide either to approve the change or not approve the change. If they do approve it, then it goes to the City Council for consideration. The City Council will then hold public meetings to consider approving it or not. The real thorn in this proposal seems to be twofold. One, chickens could be allowed in very small residential lots, 6,000 square feet. Second, what about the potential for health and safety code violations? Proponents feel that the proposed ordinance provides adequate protections against potential problems. But are we once again headed in the direction of unintended consequences? Well, we will wait to see when this is brought up to the Planning Commission. I talked to one opponent, and he said that he would be getting petition signatures of opposition to this idea. We'll keep you posted on this one. I have a special guest with me in the studio today, and that's Jerry Williams. He's got a special event coming up called the High Desert Juniors Shooting Sports Banquet. And I invited him in here to give us some information about that. Well, Jerry, welcome.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about this event you got coming up.
Okay, thanks, Tom. What we have coming up is a sports banquet where we have, dinners and meals and live auctions, silent auctions, and we have a great gun board where people can throw tickets in a raffle and can win guns, or even have an antique slot machine donated by Leo Spanner. And actually, we have a couple of those antique slot machines in our banquet. So what we're doing is raising funds for these junior shooters. We have over 100 kids signed up that we're teaching shooting skills and sportsmanship and gun safety, etc., around the high desert. We have matches, trap shooting matches, and we have them in 6 different cities: Apple Valley, Ridgecrest, Trona, Tehachapi, and around the desert. And we draw kids from all those communities. And we've got a good number of kids from Ridgecrest, boys and girls. And the competition is open for kids from 9 years of age until 19 years of age. At 19, they age out. It's just, they're adults then. So, but what we're doing is raising funds with this banquet to help with the cost of the shooting. Where we are now with what we've been able to accomplish this last year is we're buying all their shells, which is 100 shells per person, and there's generally around 50 persons per shoot, kids, adults, young adults, and we pay for all their targets so that it's not a burden on the grandparents or the parents. And the kids are all great. I mean, we've just never had a problem, and we encourage them to go to the hunter safety classes and so forth. And
how many kids are involved in this usually?
At each shoot, we'll have around 45 to 50 kids.
Okay.
And we have over 100 signed up, but different kids, different places, and
right.
They have things going on, other things as well. But by and large, at each shoot, we give the kids a gold, silver, or a bronze medal for their winning position in the shoot in 3 different classes. There's a pro class, a junior class, and a novice class. So there'd be 9 trophies given out. They're just like they have at the Olympics, with a red, white, and blue strap that goes around their neck, and the medals that go with it. At the end of the year, the last shoot, which we just had in Barstow, we do that, the day prizes, and then we give out prizes for the year-end average and silver buckles and things of that nature.
Okay.
And go ahead.
How about focusing right in on the actual dinner, the time, location, and what to do, how they should pay for it and that type of thing?
Okay. We have these brochures, letters out at most of the sporting goods stores in town, and the swap sheet and places like that have ads in the swap sheet, and I think it's the Desert Adventure. I can't remember the other one, but anyway, we've got them at Tom, of course, has them in his Guns for Us shop and been a great supporter. We have them at Fry's Gun Shop, have them at Bell's Gun Shop. You can always pick them up there, or
You got 1 minute, so wrap it
okay,
up.
just one call to me at 760-382-4616, and we can do business by phone. And we encourage everybody to come out and help us out with these kids.
Okay, and what's the date of the event?
It is July 18th at 4 p.m. at the Kerr-McGee Center.
Okay, and your name and phone number again?
Jerry Williams, 760-382-4616.
All right, and that's next Saturday then, right?
That's
Not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
next one. That's correct.
Right. Okay, and what time do the doors open?
4 o'clock, from 4 to 5. Look at things and see what you'd like to put tickets in for and what you might like to win. Dinner at 5, and then we generally try to get out of there by 10 or 10:30 in the evening.
Okay, all right, very good. Well, thank you, Jerry. Thanks for coming in, give us some more information and details about this. So that's it, folks. This was about the sporting banquet coming up next Saturday.
Okay.
Join us. Now, in KZGN continuous effort to provide news and information you've asked for, here are today's local gas prices. Well, prices are all over the place now. As of this morning, Ridgecrest is ranging from $3.55 to $4.09. Lancaster from $3.79 to $4.59. LA Valley area $3.93 to $4.39. In the Bishop area $3.80 to $4.59. We have one station at the $3.55 figure. Next lowest price is $3.59 at 5 stations. It's more than obvious now. Stay home and shop here. The higher gas prices out of town curbs any incentive to shop out of town. Tune in with us Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for updates. We at KZGN always suggest you shop locally to support our local economy. Remember, when you pay any sales tax out of town, you are helping those cities pave their streets instead of here. Stay tuned for weather and sports when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Let's go to Keith for the weather.
Thank you, Tom. Looks like we're going to cool off here this weekend, but before that, the National Weather Service is forecasting a risk of severe thunderstorms across parts of the Central Plains, from southeastern Nebraska into much of Kansas and western Missouri, as well as parts of the southeast across southern Georgia and coastal South Carolina. Temperatures across the nation: Massachusetts came in today at 77, Ohio 75, Kansas 81, New Mexico 73, Arizona 93, and Los Angeles at 70. For our forecast, tonight will be clear with a low around 71, southwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday will be sunny and hot with a high near 101, south-southwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday night will be clear with a low around 72, west wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. On Friday it will be sunny and hot with a high near 102, south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday night will be mostly clear with a low around 72, southwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 25. And on Saturday we have a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms. The high will be near 98, light and variable winds 5 to 10, with gusts as high as 15, with more wet weather possibly on the way for the rest of the weekend. And that is a look at your forecast. Tune in tomorrow where we get an update on the storm possibly coming. Now back to Tom and the rest of your KZGN News.
Thanks, Keith. Hey, Tom Heck, how's the sports?
And a very pleasant Wednesday afternoon to everybody. Well, Major League All-Star game last night in Cincinnati at the Great American Ballpark. 6-3 the final score. The American League wins again. Mike Trout, a home run. In fact, the fourth pitch of the ball game, he hit a home run. Mike Trout last year, the MVP, and Mike Trout just keeps on going. Mike Trout and Luis Pujols lead baseball in home runs this season. Pujols with 26 and Trout with 25. The Angels are in first place because of those two gentlemen right there. Well, before the game, they honored 4 great Cincinnati Reds. For those that are a little bit younger, back in the day, that was called the Big Red Machine, and the Reds basically dominated the 70s for quite a while, both offensively and also had some great defensive folks out there. But last night, Johnny Bench, who was a magnificent catcher with a shotgun arm, Joe Morgan, who played second base through a couple of championship seasons, Barry Larkin, their great shortstop who had great range and a great arm, also a very, very good hitter, and then Pete Rose. Well, Pete Rose was introduced last, and the crowd went crazy. A standing ovation for Pete Rose. Charlie Hustle, they still love him in Cincinnati, and doggone, I hope someday he gets himself in the Hall of Fame. But we'll have to see about that. And it was Pete Rose that the older fans in Cincinnati remembered from the 1970 All-Star Game. That game was played at Riverfront Stadium, the brand new Riverfront Stadium. And in that game, Pete Rose scored the winning run. Not only did he score the winning run, but he ran over catcher Ray Fosse, who played for the Cleveland Indians then. And Fosse admittedly was never the same after that physically. Ray Fosse, now a broadcaster with the Oakland Athletics. But that play, and you've probably seen it before on TV, will probably, as I mentioned the other day, live forever as one of the great memories of baseball's Midsummer Classic. Now, the reason that this game is more important than yesteryear is the advantage now for home field goes to the American League. And if it goes 7 games, that's a very, I think, big advantage this day and age. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Major League Baseball teams. They won't play again till Friday, extended All-Star break. And when the Angels start again, they'll play Boston 3 games, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Big A. The Angels right now 8 games over 500. They've been playing very good baseball. They've won their last 9 of 12 ball games. The Angels have a half-game lead over the Houston Astros, who are really falling apart right now. They just don't have enough offense, and they lost one of their better hitters in George Springer, their leadoff hitter, so they're at a definite disadvantage. But give Houston a lot of credit. A lot of young guys on that team. They play hard, and you got to love them after all the years that they have had in the cellar. All right, locally, Burroughs High School football just around the corner. Burroughs will open up on August 28th. That's a Friday night against Palmdale over at Palmdale. Now, Burroughs has started their season as far as their eligible season. They just got off their dead period, and they're starting a passing league on weekends down the Riverside area. Todd Mather trying to get the troops ready to go for what I think is going to be a very good season this year. Tomorrow on our newscast, we will have the complete Burroughs schedule. We'll take some time since there's no Major League Baseball to talk about tomorrow, and we'll go over the 10-game schedule they have. All right, COSO has a basketball camp next week. If you're interested in that, it's July 20 through 24, Monday through Friday. Starts at 8:30, goes to 1. You can register first day. Just show up at 8 o'clock up at the college gymnasium. For information, you can call 760-384-6384. That's your sports for this Wednesday afternoon. I am Tom Heck for KZGN.
So that's the news for today. All of us at KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. Now stay with us for Ridgecrest Talk coming up next. We close with a neat video of a Navy Blue Angel flyby at a beach. Watch real close on this one.